What's up, everybody? It's been a long week, but I just got some new equipment. Today's the perfect day to test it out. And so far, everyone I've talked to says I come in loud and clear, so I'm glad I got this special guest here who I haven't really had the chance to speak with one-on-one, but, he's pretty well known around the Samurai Shodown community for obvious reasons. I'm here with Geoff.
Yeah,
So,
that nerd. Hey, what's good? What's going on? How you doing?
I'm good. Man, I've had a cough since I came back from Lunar Belt, and I'm finally just about kicked it. So it's not as bad as it was. Like,
oh, you
2
kicked
weeks
it.
ago.
Okay. I was about to say, rip there.
No. Luckily, it was really bad, and then now I'm like on the tail end. Now I just cough like once in a while, but it's not too. It's not even close to what it was before. It was. I couldn't even. I laugh a lot. So it was like a curse because every 10 seconds I would just start coughing like crazy.
Oh yeah, dude. It's been hitting people pretty hard. I mean, not even COVID or anything like that, but just like immediately after, like what was it, like Holiday Matsuri or whatever. Everybody that was around my hotel room just like died for like a good month or so. Something's been hitting us pretty hard recently. So, and then obviously we have COVID that's coming up. So. Been kind of rough times, but we're adapting, we're getting past it. I'm thinking pretty positively in the future. So
I think most of it is not too terrible. Obviously, it's just people get sick, and then the only thing that's really different is the the coronavirus. But even then, that's mostly just an issue for older people. It's not really a problem for younger people. So the main concern with that is just to not spread it to older people.
Yeah. Well, it could also spread to pets and all that. And like the only reason, I have a purpose for living is my cat Simba. So if I ever gave that to him, I'd be like devastated on that. But I think the most dangerous part about all this. Sorry, I didn't even consider myself talking about Corona.
Well, I mean, it's a subject that everyone's talking about now.
You're right. I'm reading here on my timeline right now from a friend Carbon Bay saying. BRB convincing my coworker that Tylenol cannot prevent people from being hospitalized from COVID-19. So I think the misinformation is probably more dangerous than the actual itself.
Yeah, that's not a good thing to tell people.
The toilet paper epidemic right now and all that stuff. Even though that's not actually dangerous or anything like that, people
just freaking out.
Yeah, people tend to buy things like that whenever they're super stressed out or anything. So
have you ever watched King of the Hill?
A little bit, yeah. I've seen Bobby kick people in the nuts a lot.
This actually doesn't do with Bobby, but like during there was like a Y2K episode, and the first thing they did was like hoard a whole bunch of toilet paper. I just don't understand it. I don't understand the toilet paper thing, but like I mean I don't know. It's just there's no reason to start hoarding like crazy.
Yeah. It's just it makes people feel safer whenever they do that, and it's just like a natural response. It's totally fine as long as you're not like preventing people from getting like if we really needed toilet paper or whatever.
Just keeping people from eating in general.
Yeah, stuff like that. When if it gets more serious, then there's gonna be problems with that. But whatever gets people to calm down, I think that's totally fine. So
what's up, man? So I don't know nothing about you really. I mean, obviously you're known. And I know who you are, and I know.
I keep to myself a little bit, so yeah.
But I don't know anything about your background, so why don't you tell me how like you got into the FGC, where you started, and all that good stuff?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I've been in the FGC since like 2008, I believe, not 09 or 08 or. It was thanks to David Sirlin's Super Turbo HD remix, Street Fighter 2 HD remix, which. Is that how he called it? Yeah, he called it. It had like 10 different words in the title. So
I mean, it's super. Everyone just called it AZ Remix, really.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was like, I've always been like, I didn't really understand fighting games. I didn't understand why people like were like it looked like a simple thing. It's like people pressing buttons. There's only like 6 buttons on here. Like how hard can it be?
Yeah.
My OCD nature ended up taking over, and like, oh god, I'm obsessed with it. And soon enough, I'm looking at all these nerdy things that I told myself I'd never get into, like frame data and like hitboxes and all this shit. And I'm just like, oh fuck, my life. So yeah, but then I got more and more into it. The fighting game that I actually ended up taking seriously though was Street Fighter 4, and I picked Cammy from the start because, like, you know, I was a 12-year-old. I was like, oh, her butt's out or whatever, so I want to play her. So it just kind of carried over in adulthood, like any good child, I guess. And I don't know, she ended up being top tier, so everyone called me a tier whore and all that. So, and that's how Ronin Rumble started. No. So yeah, no, I as time went on, I did a lot of internet videos, just me being really obnoxious and screaming and all the fun stuff on the internet. It was a parody of Dark Side Phil.
That
sure
guy.
You know who he is. Yeah. I was under the pseudonym of Dark Side Geoff. Really creative stuff. So I'm constantly doing that. I had stupid videos of myself dressing up as Bison, pretending to do like the moves in real life. It was just like this shitty little kid, little thing or whatever. I had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, maybe I finally hit puberty or something at the age of like 25, so I stopped doing that stuff or whatever. And then that's pretty much, I've just been kind of on and off with the fighting game community. I moved to California back in 2016 to take a gaming QA lead job at a video game publisher. I ended up just working for a number of years there. I kind of disconnected myself a little bit from the FGC. I wasn't really feeling Street Fighter 5 like a number of other people. It ended up like being like really good, but it really lost me by like month 2 of it being released or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a good game now. Just before, I don't know, just something didn't really sit right with
Look,
me.
it wasn't good when it came out. Obviously, it had a lot of problems, and only recently with Champion Edition did they really fix a lot of things. And they still haven't fixed the netcode.
They
acknowledge it now
or something in there. Yeah, they for sure. Yeah. They also banned other people's netcode, which is funny to me, but it is what it is. You know, like it's not my company. Maybe I don't know. I can't think of any reason. But yeah, no, it's so I actually didn't like. I thought maybe I was like getting older or something, and like, oh, I don't like video games that much anymore. But then I started playing Super Turbo because of the 30th anniversary, and man, that game was so much fun just to like learn from the very beginning. Getting my ass beat was actually really fun, that game, because I didn't like trying to understand the simplicity of the game was a lot tougher than I thought. It was like HD Remix started like popping back in my head. And then, I'm sorry. No, I started with Ultra Street Fighter 2 when I started getting back into it, because it was like, oh god, that game was so bad. I loved it so much. I was tired of getting my ass beat. Like, I'm playing Cammy over here, you know, just like unsafe spiral arrows from like anywhere in the game. And then I picked this character called Violent, and holy shit, that character, if you do a medium DP that hits like a little bit further away, so the later active frames happen, you can juggle with a heavy D, and that's done. And then you just do heavy DP, close heavy into heavy Shoryuken, and then they're dead. Yeah, it's 100% combo off of invincible move, and it's relatively safe if you're you kind of medium up or whatever. The light Shoryuken. It was horrible, and he has full like cross of 50/50s and delay based netcode, my favorite type of netcode for whenever I want to scrub out wins. It's so good. Anyway, so I got into that, and then I actually was like, I'm going to actually learn real Street Fighter here with Super Turbo on 30th anniversary. It started stockpiling on one on top of another, and then Third Strike after that, and then it kind of died down a little bit, but then Samurai Shodown actually showed up at PAX East last year. It was before it got released, and I just instantly fell in love with the gameplay. Big damage, the hit stop whenever like Halmaro did a standing heavy, like or 5C. I'm missing my terminology all over the place here. The thing that does a lot of
the big hit.
Swing. Yeah, the big swing, the big good. Oh my god, like it stops for like 2 seconds as if to say like, you're a fucking idiot, why didn't you block that or whatever, like whenever you get hit. And I just instantly fell in love with that game. So like after that, I just I don't know. I created content for it. I was super into it. I got the Japanese accounts. I could get the demo and invited people over, like Super Yan. I don't know. It was just like a lot of fun. And then the game got released, and it was even more exciting. Even though the net play was even worse than they ended up patching the net play. Do you remember when the game first released?
Oh yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah. But thank God they ended up doing a good job fixing that sort of stuff. I did a character tutorial for Charlotte, who is my main that I use in that game. And then later on, when they fixed that netcode, I ended up thinking oh, maybe I could do an online series of this. It actually kind of a bunch of different circumstances came through. I was I wanted to give myself a commentary slot because last minute they had to pull me out for a major for a commentary. And I was okay, well, this is the best way for me to do it. I'm gonna create something myself. Since then, I don't know, the community has kind of embraced it, and I've been super fortunate to have so many people actually give a shit about this thing that I created. It was nice coming back.
To me, it was almost like I don't know.
But yeah, no. Oh, go ahead.
But I was Ronin Rumble to me is it's almost like I don't know, it's almost like a miracle to me. Because
I say that I agree. I say that all the time, and I really don't I think if any, everything just lined up perfectly for it. The netcode was people were starting to really start getting into online tournaments around the time. I had the right connections to spread the word out and have people take a look at it. I was friends with the right people who were able to introduce me to other people to help spread the word, help with sponsorships and all that stuff. Everything just worked perfectly. I didn't question that. I was whatever, I'm gonna ride this. So
yeah, to me it's I don't know, it's just such a I personally, I don't like playing online. Obviously, I don't
blame you.
And it was fun. It's just that to me, I do Casa the Sam show, and so every Sunday I have people to play locally. So to me, I just don't indulge in Ronin Rumble, but I do like watching Ronin Rumble because I get to see what everyone else is up to. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat to see what everyone's up to.
Yeah, it's really interesting actually, and the good thing is that there's a lot of people that kind of started without really, I guess, just started from not really knowing the game or anything, or not really being as known as they are now. But then as they kept playing over and over again, they started placing top 8 at majors. People like Scrub Cybot, and all of a sudden we just started seeing 6 out of 8 people in top 8 from Ronin Rumble, people who would participate every single week, Vinny Mokov, Andy OCR, all those guys. And it's just it blew my mind actually, just seeing that actually kind of form into something positive, So that was really cool to see that. I hear about Vado all the time, and just everyone from not every single state, but all over the country, really. And I don't know, it was really cool to have that put together, and just seeing how just everyone was kind of coming together for a singular vision, which is blows my mind. And I'm not even that terrible of the game too, which is great because I get to play with all these top players or whatever, and it really helps my game out too. So I like it a lot. But regarding what you were saying about the online play and not liking it and all that stuff, Crack Fiend is a super, super good friend of mine. He actually helped inspire me to create and continue Ronin Rumble. He said something of the sort, and he said it was, you kind of have to make a choice whether you want to be good offline or online. Obviously, you can kind of choose between both of them, a little bit of column A, column B.
Yeah.
But being able to play has a completely different reaction set than online. You could learn specific matchups of things that you won't be able to find in your local community or anything if that's not available. And you can play different play styles. And because Samurai Shodown is about expressive character much more than certain, it's much better for you to be able to play something like that. For example, there's a huge difference between Chlora, his insane, like Hannibal Lecter, like Dolly, like tied up Darlie versus like Jack, who has a much more, I don't want to say refined, but let's say
This is like he plays a little slower.
Yeah, just slower. And there's a huge difference with that. And you know, unless you could fly to Puerto Rico and New York City like so often, whatever, it's just good getting that top level experience, being able to play online. But obviously offline is also really good too, because you don't have the additional input delay or anything like that, and then you can actually like react to things, and you know that whenever you put in an input and it screws up, it's really hard to blame the game at that point. It's probably you. So
yeah, no one here. So Georgia has a pretty thriving Samurai Shodown scene, and I haven't really heard anyone here complain about anything. They get upset when they lose, but they don't blame the game, because it's like everything in this game is reactable for the most part. So I mean, if you didn't dodge the run up throw and then he ran from half screen, it's kind of your fault. So it's like
no, exactly. That's how I feel about it. But yeah, I mean, my ultimate vision, at least with the Sam Show community, is just basically just being able to integrate as much of the offline and online scene as possible. Like, we want to take the strengths of online to turn it offline, and we want the offline events to show that, hey, you know, you can get good in online. So it's just like, it's a constant cycle between the two. That's my ultimate goal with the Sam Show community, and it's been pretty successful so far. I'm really happy to just see it, like, so much unity in the community. So
yeah, everyone knows each other. I think that's the best part. Everybody knows each other.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
You're right though. I mean, the benefits of playing online, they're obvious. You can get matchups you can't normally get, and it's really helpful. I mean, you have to have online to learn a lot of these matchups, because you can't just, unless your offline scene is just really, really active, you can't just be like, I'm gonna go face this Earthquake. Like, you probably have to go online and find an Earthquake, or just run into an Earthquake, or play in Ronin Rumble, because there's like 3 motherfuckers in the Ronin Rumble.
Yeah, there's 12 billion Earthquakes there. Yeah, for sure. That and Shizumato's. So.
Oh yeah, plenty of those.
Oh yeah. And you know, it's good though. It and also what it does is it contributes to the general economy of everything. Whereas we kind of figure out what the meta is more like because of both the online and off. So now, like, you know, we were discovered like a lot quicker that Shizumaro is like really good, and that float is one of his best tools for sure. And people are building, you know, tech against it. So instead of trying to guess when to Eason or whatever, people are just going for air to airs now, which is way much more effective. Yeah, especially if you're in Rage Explosion, you have the 140% damage boost and all that. Yeah,
you really don't want to waste that Eason, especially when you can just air to air him and take like a quarter of his life from one hit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then you get to do it like 3 more times, whatever, or maybe he actually gets to play footsies like he should. Like,
man, that character, he's definitely gonna get nerfed.
He probably will be, yeah, for sure. We'll see. They are having a patch later on, right, for season 2?
Yeah, it's just not gonna happen until after SNK World Championships.
Yeah, right. That got delayed thanks to our first topic of discussion.
Yeah. So who knows? We're gonna get it. But the game isn't messed up. So to me, I can keep playing the game. I don't really care because the game is fine.
It's so much fun, and honestly, like, well, maybe my competitor spirit isn't that much that like compared to like everyone else, but man, I it's still so much fun, like knowing that I can like lose like 80% of my life if I just like guess wrong on like or if I put myself in a situation. So like if I hold forward for like 1 frame and they just happen to 11 frames beforehand that I was going to press forward for that 1 frame and I get screwed there, that's something I have to take into consideration the whole time. It's super exciting. It gets my adrenaline pumping. I'm always like, my heart's always pumping. Like even at the Data FGC tournament last week, man, even though like
I heard that was
or whatever, I was just like, oh my god, I was just like every single one was so stressed.
Yeah, I heard that was rough. Like, Bates talked to me obviously when he got back, and you know, a lot of some things out of y'all control happen, like electric, like I think like the power went out or something, or
it was the internet. It was only doing like down download and not upload for some reason. So you can't stream without upload. So
That is crazy.
yeah. It's unfortunate. We Duo Studios, they're the guys who ran it. They invested like hundreds of thousands of dollars in their equipment and everything else and all that. Like it's a passion project, and it's really unfortunate when things beyond his control like happen like that. So I mean, if anything, and I can say this from hosting Ronin Rumble, so probably Comcast's fault on everything. So it's universal. Like even when I was West Coast, like it was just constantly just like drop frames and all that. You would call them, consider giving us $50 more a month. I'm like, no, well, I didn't, and I didn't.
You know, it's funny. I work for the cable company.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I work for Spectrum.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that sounds a lot better than Comcast.
I think you have Spectrum down there actually in Florida, so I don't know if you are gonna. I don't know if you can split.
Yeah. No, I'm actually in a friend's couch right now until I settle down with my house and all that. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll just like rent out for now because it might take, especially with this Corona stuff going on. But man, the prices are getting pretty good right now. Unfortunately, a lot of events I was really looking for are shutting down. Oh, that's another thing that really sucks. You heard about NCR getting canceled, right?
Yeah, a lot of things got canceled.
Yeah.
E3 got canceled too.
Oh man, that hurt. Oh yeah, about E3. Yeah, it's just I feel really bad for the grassroots events because like those guys don't have. Hits. Yeah, exactly. It's going to hurt really, really bad. In fact, some of them I bet are just they can't recover from that, and that it's horrible. It's horrible because like it's just so much money. Even events that aren't getting canceled, like CEO Dreamland is this weekend here in Orlando. It's Jabali had to resort to like PayPal donations to make up for like all the canceled like coronavirus refunds and all that stuff because he's just it makes sense over there because like he's gonna be in the red if he doesn't get that money back or anything like that, and this is his own money he's putting down.
Yeah,
it's just rough. It's tough.
I think this is the hardest part is that these TOs, the smaller ones, it's just them like putting all their work into it and all their money and investments just to put on a good event, and they don't even see a return most of the time. So,
yeah, no, it's actually not a very profitable place to be in, and it's actually it's just like it's passion. It's these guys just want to put together like an event in their vision. And like Jabali's like, I love wrestling, and he would always invite us over to his place, and we just like watch wrestling. I don't give a damn about it, but he was, eyes constantly glued to the TV, and was saying, "Get down, Jabali, like let's watch too," and all that stuff. And it's he made an event on that, and I don't know. I think that's really, really cool. So that's why it's like a really, really big heartbreaker to me whenever I see like grassroots type events really just taking a big hit like that. And it's nothing that they did wrong or anything either. So Jabali, hopefully. So I think.
Yeah, we'll have to see. He should be fine. I mean, I think we'll be okay. I think this is going to be an odd year. I think it's going to just be a very odd year. I think not everyone's going to be okay. I think the more, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? The higher level tournaments, I guess. The upscale tournaments, I guess.
Yeah,
they'll probably be in the red, but they'll survive. Mm-hmm. It's just the smaller ones. That's the tough one. I don't know if they're gonna get by. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
Especially
we'll have to see after this year. I think this year is gonna be a trying times for a lot of us.
Oh yeah, and it just not even FGC, but just every all gamers around everywhere. Just the economy in general is just going to be a huge. Man, I don't know.
So you moved to Florida. Did you move back to Florida? Like, did you live in Florida?
Yeah. So I'm so sorry. Can you give me 2 seconds?
Hey, go ahead.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, so I lived in Florida pretty close to my whole life. I moved to Orlando after I graduated college, and I lived there until 2016, and then for 4 years I ended up moving to California, and then after the 4 years I ended up just coming back over here. I just wanted to be closer to family. Dad's not doing as well as I had hoped right now and all that stuff, so I just wanted to be closer to family, and plus all my like close core friends are over here, and it's been really nice being back. So
I know you've been trying to reintegrate into the Florida FGC again.
Yeah, it is. It's completely changed here. It's so like 4 years ago, we didn't have that much unity with too many things. Like Javeli would probably do monthly whenever he felt like it, that sort of thing. But for the most part, the weeklies were just at someone's house or whatever. Nothing that was like super organized. But now they have juicies, and I've just been a fly on the wall recently with them, and they've been doing an amazing job keeping centralizing the community and always having like a place you can reliably go in order to find matches and play in tournaments and see who's the best.
Honestly, I would like to. I would like to put a lot of the Florida guys more, but it seems like a lot of the Florida Sam show is like in Tampa, not in Tampa, but in Orlando. Man,
well, yeah, I didn't find them.
I think there's a couple guys. I think there's like 3 or 4 guys. I think
there's definitely Argon Ross for sure. And then Argon Ross, John Martin is his name, BXA, and he's been doing good with Sam's show. He's been taking a break for Grand Blue recently, which is like all the big hype. But there's also I think there's Sia. I forgot his actual name. Do you know who?
I know who you're talking
King
about.
Krusty.
Yeah, I know.
Krusty Sia, yeah. That guy's cool. So, and there's a few other people, but yeah, I once I get everything kind of settled, have a place where I could like reliably stream and all that stuff, I definitely want to help out with reinvigorating the Sam Show community. However,
I mean, if there's anyone that could do it, it's you.
I hope.
I did my
Maybe
best.
My luck
here.
right now. Who knows?
I did my best here in Georgia. Trust me. And
no. But good. you have your weekly, essentially House of Pain, and like everything's just like it seems to be really good. Like people are retweeting all your stuff. People are excited. They're looking on social media. I know that people are like saving clips and of themselves and re-uploading it, and it's getting a lot of engagements. I don't know. I thought that's really cool. That's like the grassroots efforts that like I really appreciate it.
Just gotta keep. I don't know. It's just about keeping the ball rolling. I just don't want it to. I don't want the ball to stop if I can help it.
Oh yeah. We gotta keep it up. Plus Evo's, helping us out too. Giving us another year, which is always nice. And who knows what the future is gonna have.
Have you okay? So I remember when that one time I competed in Ronin Rumble, you wanted to compete, but I swear to God you disqualify yourself like 10 times straight.
I'm sorry, you cut out there. Say that again.
Did you hear me? Okay, so I remember the first Ronin Rumble.
Hold on, it's cutting you out again. Hold on 1 second. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
This sounds like something important, and I promise I'm not pretending not to hear. Okay, yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi. This is exactly why you don't use Wi-Fi, by the way. So.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I remember the first Ronin Rumble. That first Ronin Rumble. I think I was in the third or second one, maybe. But you DQ'd yourself out of the tournament.
Right.
Did you ever get back to start competing in it again, or I know you have a lot of responsibilities for running it, but did you ever go back and shine?
The only time that I play is when I need to buffer more room or whatever, and I never actually want to because they usually have me playing against someone who has tried Ronin Rumble for the first time or whatever, right? And I'm just like, oh god, be a dick or anything like that.
Yeah. You're like, get out of the tournament.
Yeah, exactly like that. And I don't think I've ever won Ronin Rumble on stream, even when I tried. So I have my own stream nerves. It's really weird, but yeah, I have given it a try sometime, but I've never actually been able to sit down and kind of just enjoy it from like the actual like competitor point, which is kind of a down point for me because I really do want to see like how the tournament is from start to finish and all that. I guess I have a pretty complete idea, but I'd like to see, no responsibilities or anything like that. But my OCD is not going to allow me. I'm going to constantly try like micromanaging everything I can.
I mean, you just want the event to run perfectly,
Yeah, and it's the furthest thing from perfect. But like I said, I'm really appreciative the community deals with some of the imperfections there. So
how did you so for commentary, did you you just decided just to reach out to community members to get them to fill it for commentary?
Yeah, actually, so I mean the story behind that was that like for a major that I went to, I was like, oh yeah, don't worry, we got you a commentary spot from someone who's like really high up over there, and I just kept asking, hey, just let me know where, when, and all that stuff. And then like last minute they were like, we don't have a spot or anything for you. So that really sucked. But then it was just like, I'm not going to be able to go to too many other majors because I was a community manager at the time. So I had to go to a bunch of events that were coinciding else. So like the next event was like Anime Expo, and I couldn't go to like, they don't have Sam Show there essentially. So it was like, I wanted to find a way to make it so that more commentators could actually just be a part of this thing. So I started realizing that this is kind of a need in the community to help build up their commentary reel, and just to actually have the experience of commentating to begin with. So I've tried to make it a goal to at least have one new commentator every single week, just to let him be a part of it and all that, and just build up whatever. Obviously, we've built kind of a brand over time. Like, for example, we have JPZ every other, Experimilk as well. I tried getting some pretty high caliber people, such as like James Chen or Wooly, Sonic Soul, all that. And I was just like constantly, cycling through the variety. I like mixing up the commentaries sometimes, or the commentary teams, just to see what. But yeah, overall, it's just been like, if you've reached out to me, there is a very, very, very good chance that you commentated for Ronin Rumble. So
that's honestly really cool because I spoke with Tupperware. I think it was last week Wednesday. And
I'm so sorry, you cut out again. You said Tupperware.
Yeah, I spoke with Tupperware.
And
he's he's a commentator, but he's also a competitor. But we spoke about how difficult it is for people to get in the commentary because of the amount of risks there is, and going to events, and first getting the gig and having to know people, and what you're doing is really good because
thank you.
It allows people to at least have like a record, right? So they can always show someone like, hey, I did this for Ronin Rumble. I've commentated 5 times, and this is my reel. Like I've done this. So
yeah, and it's really exciting to see that. I've seen reels with people adding Ronin Rumble in it, which is really cool and super humbling at the same time. Tubbo is a prime example of just showing what you could build out of basically just going out there and trying to meet people and all that. He's done a really, really good job making a name for himself, and I'm proud of him. So
I'm trying to kind of, so like I've been doing Casa the Sam Show, and I've been trying to get 2 of our commentators locally here to come here more often so that they have more exposure, because they're very, very good at commentary, and they both know Sam Show very, very well. But one of them lacks like a complete reel, and the other one, I think he also he gets opportunities all the time here in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I want him to be like more. I want him to get as practiced up as possible. And
oh yeah,
to me, like I understand what you're doing, because like to me this is like the same thing I'm doing. It's just I'm doing mine locally, so obviously not everyone in
Oh,
the
yeah.
world is going to call me up to do commentary locally.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. And well, I mean, you know, we also have limitations with online as well, but I do believe local grassroots, you know, community building and all that stuff. That's just as, if not more important than, like, you know, worldwide, because these are the guys that you see each and every single day. So I don't know. It's nice to have like a variety of choices when it comes to commentary, or at least like being able to do commentary. But what you were saying before, I totally empathize with, because a lot of people have really, really good talents, but they end up like doing more with stuff are the more proactive ones. You know what I mean? Like the ones that kind of go out, do stuff that's above and beyond, because there's a lot of people that are super talented, but they don't really go out of their way to do things to show off that talent, or to hone that, or to like get exposure. And you know, the way that the world works now, obviously it's like 99% connections and everything. So
yeah, for sure.
You know, you get your name out there, and it's so much like, you know, who are you going to trust? This guy that's says that he's really, really good at commentary, or the guy that actually has the track record that shows it, the guy that you're friends with?
Yeah, and he knows Bob, and Bob wouldn't tell me that Bob would tell me he's bad, and he didn't, so he's got to be good.
Yeah, yeah, exactly like that. It's a very connection based game nowadays. Just not just for like commentary, but literally the entire world, like how you get jobs and all that stuff. So I don't know if anyone is out and wants to take anything I say seriously, please take that whole, like, just do something above and beyond, something that people didn't expect. People will notice, and, you know, create your own opportunities, that sort of thing. So yeah.
Well, getting further, I mean, it really is like, you have to put in the work, but even if you work hard, you need like luck and connections to like proceed a little further than normal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm trying not to be a boomer by saying, you know, work hard, and then, you know, one day, you know, we'll throw you a scrap or something like that. It's more along the lines of just, you got to do something to put yourself ahead of the competition, because, like, you know, long story short, everything's kind of just a gathering of resources, and then whoever has more resources to dispose can usually end up doing more, you know?
Yeah. It definitely helps to have people who are already associated with more people, and it's just a lot easier to do that than even though you're really good. One second.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's also a big thing too. All
right, Bates came in trying to ask me what the internet's all about, because I'm the internet man.
It's all good.
Bates like, is the internet trash?
So every time that I ran Ronin Rumble, I would always have to run downstairs, run to my my roommate, tell them, hey, could you like stop downloading the Sonic movie or something like that? Like, this is really important to me. I really, really don't want it to keep dropping these frames. And yeah, thankfully I don't have that problem anymore. I just have like go to business type places or whatever, so I have more internet than usual. But yeah, for a long time that was a very, very big concern, and thank God I stopped getting DMCA notices and all.
You know, honestly, so funny story. I'll go to customers' homes, and then sometimes they'll be like, I swear to God, I swear someone in their family uses their internet without letting them know like how they're using it. And they'll go, I swear, Tyler keeps saying that I downloaded Iron Man. I promise you, I haven't watched Iron Man. And it's like an old lady. She's like she's like not like 4. She's like 59, right? She's like 59 to 65, and she's just so confused how Iron Man just keeps showing up on our DMCA. And
it's obvious it's just their guilty pleasure. She just didn't want to be caught with it. Old women and Robert Downey Jr. go together pretty well. So
I died. I was like, do you have like a grandson or something here? Like, yeah, he visited last week. I'm like, I promise you, when he comes here, he downloads Iron Man.
Wait, so he like downloads it every single week or something? Like he'll just,
No,
like,
what will
delete
happen
it
is
after he watches-
I think her family visits her like once every couple months,
uh-huh.
and when that happens, she gets a DMCA, and then she call us saying like she's being hackered, and we'll go down there, and she wants us to swap all her shit out, and then we have to tell her like, look, I promise you, it's got to be one of your family members once a month. It's too coincidental that they show up, and then the next week you get the DMCA notice. And she's like, no, they said they did it. I'm like, I promise you, they watching the Marvel movies on your fucking internet.
That's some good detective work if I've ever heard it. Yeah.
My job is so interesting. I meet all kinds of crazy people. It's really fun. My job is not fun, but it is fun. The people make it fun, even though it's a horrible job. Like it's
you get to see people of all walks of life. I totally get it.
Oh yeah,
that does sound like
people.
fun, honestly.
I have infinite. I could probably spend maybe 30 hours just telling stories because I've been doing this shit for like 10 years now. So I have
wow.
30 hours of stories of just insane things you could not believe. But I'm gonna put that in my pocket for later because I might need that.
I like the Iron Man one, so
yeah. The Iron Man came out today. But yeah. Honestly, like when I stream, I try to not like occupy the bandwidth, but the problem is it's not a big deal when I'm like playing Power Rangers or like you know, like anything with rollback, it's not a big deal. But like when I start streaming, man, everyone in the house is just like their delay-based netcode games just get shot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And just another reason why we probably need more rollback later on. But I have hope for the future. For games like Grand Blue, it was a little bit too late because when that big whole Wii rollback thing came out, what was that, like late last year, right?
Yeah.
The games are pretty much, I mean, rollback has to start being implemented at the beginning of the development cycle. It doesn't really cost more or anything, but it needs to be built upon, right? So I used to be a part of the Killer Instinct development team a long time ago. And Keats and other people like Grazer, would constantly go on these good old rants about like online netcode and all that fun stuff, but it needs to be developed from the beginning onward. And I guess a lot of companies kind of just take a look at what the return of investment is whenever they kind of get complaints after the game gets released, and they kind of judge it off of that. Like, so for example, Mortal Kombat had delay-based netcode, and then they went into rollback because so many people were asking for it, and they also want to be taken super seriously, like with the ESL.
Yeah.
The thing that Sonic Fox got, I think that was his first big tournament that he ended up winning, right?
You mean back in the day?
It's way back in the day.
Yeah, I think so. I think that, to me, I think that was like when I think of Sonic Fox, I think of the Mortal Kombat from back in the day. So
okay,
it might have. I think that was his coming out.
Yeah, I think that was it too. Yeah,
because that's when he started making money. Like he started
too,
making money, and he was like, "Yeah, I made $100K in a year or some shit." Like I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he got a lot of fursuits or something. He just refurbished it, or not refurbished it, but whatever. He made it look new again. There he goes. You know, it's his money. He can do whatever he wants, and I'm proud of them. So
we can't stop him from winning. So he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, they're a really nice person. And have you met Sonic Fox in person?
I have not met Sonic Fox in.
Oh, they're so genuine. Yeah, they are incredibly genuine. Just really good person overall. You could have like a wholesome comment with them in just like moments after meeting them. So
I think the reason why I haven't spoken with Sonic Fox or even crossed Sonic Fox's path is because I avoid Mortal Kombat like the plague. So I just never end up in the same room, probably because it's never in the same room, or if it is in the same room, the grand finals for that game at most of the locals or like the majors is like the 1 p.m. or like 10 a.m. slot, and I'm usually not the fuck out. I'm just like still sleeping from the night before. So I don't bother getting up that early. And it's not a slight against Mortal Kombat. It's just I had never had interest in it because of the artistic direction they take and how they handle their models and movement. And I just can't get down with that game's like rigidness.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. In fact, I feel the same exact way about Mortal Kombat. I feel like every single character just feels like they're playing in molasses. And it's not like because of the netcode or anything. It's just the way that they move and how they attack and all that. Like the fastest move is 6 frames or something, but every other move is like 32 or something ridiculous like that. I don't know. But then when I play Tekken, where they have slower moves like that, it feels a lot more fluid, and
it's because
it has something to do with like the VFX and animations and the models.
It probably has to do with how freeform movement is in that game. Versus Mortal Kombat's like weird dashes that just look really awkward, and because their dashes are just like really abrupt and they go really far or they go really short, and so they're just really abrupt movement and it just don't look or feel good to me. I mean, obviously there's a lot of people that don't care or they don't, or they like it.
Different taste for everyone else.
Yeah,
that's
I
how
can't
I felt
like
about
everything.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I thought that the game was actually fun to play, but man, you just don't feel like it's valuable at all when you see the windscreen come out and it looks like some like Flash project made by some guy that's barely passing his high school class or whatever, you know. Like what was it? It was like a perfect gradient that was put over everything. And keep in mind, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 had, you know, like comic book aesthetic. They actually had outlines on their characters, and then Infinite just kind of came out. You didn't feel value from winning or being a part of this product, you know?
But you know what's funny story is I was playing with I was playing Marvel Infinite with my with Bates, because Bates lives with me, and we have another roommate named Izzy, and we were playing, and then Izzy walks in the room. I don't even know if he's even seen the game before, and he goes, "What the hell is this? It's like Disney Infinity."
Oh, I'm so sorry. You cut out. He goes, and then
he says, he's like, "What the hell is this? Is this Disney Infinity?" And I was like, "Oh shit! It does look like Disney's Infinity." I died, man. When he said that shit, I was dead. Because I thought about it, I was like, the art direction does look like the Disney Infinity little toys crap they sell.
Oh my god.
Dude, he had no idea. He just roasted Capcom like crazy, but
yeah, they didn't import the Capcom models. They imported the Disney. Everything makes sense now. My world is complete.
Yeah. Obviously, not everything's for everybody. So, you know.
Oh yeah.
Mortal Kombat is one of those games I feel either love it or you just ain't never gonna fuck with it.
Yeah, and like not everything's for everyone, and I'm totally fine not being able to consume every single piece of media and all that. Well, I mean, a lot of people love Infinite, and God.
And I was like, I have so like to me, once you start making something for everybody,
oh my god, the connection is getting so bad right now. All right, let's try it one more time here.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. So, in my opinion, I think when things are made for everybody artistically, like video games, then they lose kind of like that punch. They don't, because then it's trying to appeal to everybody, so it just becomes watered down. So it loses like some of its like vision or like its direction. So I like games that are just like designed like for just, you know, it's just designed to be itself. It's not trying to be for everybody. That's why I think Samurai Shodown's so fun. Because it's obviously not trying to be all these other fucking fighting games. So it just sticks out.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that people should probably just stick with what they want to make. But, you know, obviously with AAA games out
there, they
put market research into. They have to, because the way that they are going to be able to make money, and everything's about money, of course, you know, because they got to return a profit. Otherwise, they do layoffs and all that fun stuff. So
Yeah,
And that's why I really like indie devs, actually, because they're the ones that are kind of going out there, putting their heart out there, putting their passion project out, and just exposing pretty much a vulnerability to the world. Like, if this is truly what I love and all this, and all these people say that my game sucks and all, that's a pretty big blow to the ego. So I don't know. I respect indie devs a lot more. It's just because of that. And to be fair, like, a lot of indie devs do kind of make not the best games in the world that I have no. But I mean, the fact that people put it there to begin with, that's stuff. Same thing with competitors, like or fighting game competitors. Really, it's how many times have you seen someone who had like a really good season, had this huge fan base, just fall off for like one season, and everyone's saying you're washed up, and all that shit.
Yeah. Classic.
That shit's. Oh yeah. And I understand just like harmless shit talk and all that. That's totally fine. But when it comes to like just complete randoms, like, and that's all you're reading over and over again, that's gotta like sting a little bit.
So the people that actually nerves, but you have to remind yourself that these guys ain't got nothing else going on, and they're just talking.
Exactly.
I don't take anything the Swiss chat says like seriously, because most of them, they're just under the guise of the internet, and they will just say whatever they want without like any kind of thought to it, because there's no consequence for their actions anyway. So they don't care. Much. They're just gonna say whatever the hell they want. So I just ignore them. It's like I was like, why am I gonna give them even my time? He didn't spend more than a second thinking that up in his brain before he sent it out into the world. So why am I gonna fucking spend more than like a second even looking at it?
Oh yeah, Andy OCR actually just like made fun of me for. There was a comment where Andy OCR ended up beating the Shiki by 1 round, and this guy who admitted right on the post that I don't play these games anymore, was just like, well, the Shiki must suck or whatever. And I'm like, well, Andy is a SNK World Final Championship like finalist and all that, and he made it. This Shiki made it to the very last round. I think it was Sinister X, yeah. He made it to the very last round, and he just barely like lost here. You give him a little bit more credit, and then the guy's like, fuck you. I'm like, okay, thanks, man.
I'm telling you, if they didn't spend more than a second thinking about it, don't even spend more than a second talking to them about it. That's my motto, and it's been working pretty good for me.
Yeah, I gotta get on that level.
It's hard not to. I'm gonna be honest with you. It took years and years of memeing to like iron myself to not argue with people on the internet for like the most pettiest shit, because it's so easy to see someone's dumbass opinion and just like be like, what is wrong with this guy? I have to like let him know he's stupid.
Oh
like,
yeah.
It's so hard, but like I'm immune now. I've spent so much time doing shit on the internet. I've seen all the fucked up shit people do. I've seen all the fucked up shit people write. I was already a meme lord once, so I already fucking know everything. It's just not worth it. It's never worth it. I've never came out of it. Thinking back, I've never came out of one of those like little like scraps and been like, that was totally worth it. Never, not even once.
I've been on both sides myself. I used to be a fun shit poster and all, just for the hell of it or whatever. I'm thinking it was good, but then like on, I just kind of realized like it wasn't really worth my time or whatever. I'm not really improving myself or doing. Like trying to make up for like a broken ego or something. I don't know what was wrong with me back then, but yeah.
Well, I mean, like I said, it took me forever. I used to do it all the time, but it's not worth it.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, and yeah, I mean, it's good. You've created your own like little brand. You've put yourself out there. Or you have your own passion project. I think that's really great.
I love doing these. This is
a lot more. Like, yeah, you've been killing it with content recently. You've had tutorials and these podcasts all the time. Obviously, Casa the Sam Show. Like, my God, yeah, you've been doing a lot. And obviously, we're starting to split our time between Sam Show and Grand Blue Fantasy versus. So, like, people holding it down, people are stepping up, and people like you are really helping, like, actually keep the community alive and gives people, like, much more than a choice than just, like, Ronin Rumble, everything. Like we have content creators now. Thank fucking God we have content creators. That's something that we were missing for a very, very long time.
I need the goal. I don't want to stop. I'm not gonna stop playing Samurai Shodown. I just right now the podcasts are just so much more fun. So I'm gonna just keep doing Casa, and I'm gonna keep doing these podcasts. I don't know if I'm gonna go back to making tutorials for a little while anyway. The plan was to do that, but now I'm just enjoying myself so much doing this that I don't want to drag myself another way. And
yeah, dude, pretty much just do whatever you want. Like, keep your passion alive. That's the most important thing. If you like pigeonhole yourself into tutorials, like imagine what you're gonna get in whatever, right? You're going to get more requests for tutorials. Those are these things that you are starting to secretly hate. The same thing actually happened to me when I was making tutorials. Street Fighter 4 and Killer Instinct and all that stuff. I ended up like not making tutorials at all because it was just like when the game released, I had to grind for literally like 5 days putting everything together. Is this joke funny? Yes, it is. Okay. 2 days later, I heard this joke at least 200 times. I need to change it. This is the most unfunny thing I've ever seen in my life. And it's just like this constant, just like cabin fever that I'm giving myself, this gaslighting that I'm doing for myself, to the point that like I started hating tutorials. But like if you find something that you enjoy, you know, like definitely stick through it. Like Ronin Rumble is something that I legitimately enjoy no matter like what. I just spent like 10 hours re-promoting and changing venues for us because the coronavirus is fucking me over and all that stuff. And I enjoyed no, I didn't enjoy every moment, but you know, I enjoyed the challenge. So
to me, what's important is so far I've been pretty good about just not pushing myself too hard to the point where I'll just like, because I've always burnt myself out, but this is the first time I've not burnt myself out because I'll just stop myself and just do something else. Mm-hmm. And it's been good. It's been good. I've been really liking it.
Keep it up, man. I'll see you on the top there. You know, like what's your overall goal with everything that you're doing? I want to know.
I think what I really want, so if I had like a very broad goal, I have two broad goals. Mm-hmm. One, I want to be a recognizable member of the community, and two, I want to use that to.
You cut out. I'm sorry. You said recognizable something.
Yeah, I want to be a recognizable member of the community.
Okay.
And
always good.
The second part is the first part too. I want to use that recognizability to help push my local scene, so people recognize them, and that's really it. And
good shit, man. If
making a whole bunch of shit and getting, I don't know, like fucking 15,000 followers on Twitter or whatever is the way to do it, then that's the way to do it. Honestly, social media is so strong, and no one else in like where I live, like Georgia, even comes close to me in terms of like attempting to use it. And I think it's just a waste because we have a lot of talent here, and so I'm just gonna do the work for them because they're not gonna do it.
That's really good, and I feel the same exact way. It's just being able to present yourself on social media and all that stuff. Like whenever I make a post about Sam Show, I have to like constantly go through the copy over and over again, making sure that like the message that I'm putting out has like a very understandable like call to action, and that like it's easy to digest and understand and all that stuff, and that like anyone who's scrolling through might be able to stop when they see like, you know, like a hook and stuff like that. And I'm actually trying to teach that to my staff in Ronin Rumble as well, about how to like make copy and all that, because like you said, social media is pretty much just the way that you are able to virally spread all your stuff now. You don't need to like throw a bunch of money down on like a TV advertisement or anything anymore. It's all about like influencers and being able to communicate via social media. So
you're completely right.
Yeah,
honestly, the only reason I mean, you've probably seen my little mascot, my little girl mascot, and I made that because I wanted a really easily recognizable character that when people scroll to the feed, they're like, "Oh, wait, let me go back up real quick. That's Painbot's thing. What did he do?" I wanted a mascot that, even though, because the problem with social media, it's a fucking rotating wheel. So if they don't see your shit, or if they just scroll down and they didn't catch it, then they may just never see it unless you repost it 100 times a day. So I try my best to make my shit really pop out. So I made my character, and then I made sure the thumbnails are very easily, like, they just take up the whole fucking post so people can see it and be like, oh, okay, that's something he just made, so let me do it again. And honestly...
Oh, yeah, that's free real estate, essentially. Like, whenever you make a tweet, you should always put some sort of, like, image behind it or whatever, because that is going to be taking up more of their, like, smartphone space whenever they're scrolling through it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Versus, like, a small snip with, like, a link that doesn't even populate like that, So
I learned my fucking lesson with that shit, because, I used to post the link, and it used to populate the thumbnail on Twitter, but then I realized that on the mobile, it won't populate the thumbnail until after you click it. So it's pointless. You have to post a thumbnail separately and then add the link to it, and hopefully they click the link. But
yeah, and that actually increases your SEO as well. Or like whenever you hop back on Twitter and it says, here's what you might have missed or whatever. If you have a actual image that you uploaded on there, then that pushes itself ahead of whatever auto generates for one reason or another. Those things are constantly changing though, so like it's just a constant like learning, experimenting sort of thing, and I think that's a lot of fun, honestly. So
I like it. I like the challenge. I mean, to me, the biggest help with social media, it's funny, even with all this ability and like all this knowledge, truly, the easiest way to get your stuff looked at is to have like 5 or 6 people with also a big following retweet your shit. That's really the biggest way to do
it. That's pretty much it.
It's fucked up.
Whenever Hi-Fi retweets something, everything goes viral at that point.
Yeah.
Super excited, whatever. Yeah, him and Gator, Geoff. Gator. Oh my God, what's his name? I'm so sorry. Gatorade. There we go. Yeah.
That guy. Yeah. When he posts my shit, it's always like big.
Oh yeah. And that's it's always so nice to have people just constantly like genuinely just retweeting stuff just because they believe that like their followers should also see this sort of thing. And I don't know, it perpetuates itself into that whole community effort, grassroots built world that we live in here. So I don't know how to actually put that into words that makes sense, but it's a nice family type feeling. So I don't know. It
feels good.
It's a good feature.
Andy really, anytime Andy reposts Andy has a decent following, and like so does Jimmy Bones. So like anytime Jimmy Bones or Andy retweets my stuff, it's such a huge boost. It's like people don't understand like if you guys start making content, guys, you have to understand when someone with like let's just say 1,000 or 2,000 follower account retweets your stuff and you only have like 100 followers, that's a like first of all, it's only 10 times the amount of eyes, like out the bat, potentially anyway. Then if any of their followers retweet it and they have like 10K, that's like you're just multiplying. It's like it's such a big deal to have someone like that. But in order to get someone like that, you have to make quality things, or you have to be recognized by doing something in the community. Because obviously, people that are also recognized by the community aren't just gonna follow everyone that follows them. Because at that point, you have 10,000 followers and 10,000 followings.
Yeah, that always looks a little bit sus, I guess, but.
Well, I mean, I don't do it because I always keep my follower count low, like my following count low, because it's really hard for me to keep track of the people that I do want to like follow, because everyone I've met in person, I followed for the most part. And,
same here.
Yeah, like if I meet you, I'm gonna follow you. It's just because I've met you and I know who you are now, and if you seem okay enough, I'll follow you. So I don't want to like just start following everyone, and then the people I do want to help out, like their stuff just gets buried in like memes or some shit. So like I keep my shit low just to make sure that the people I do want to help, they get the help they need.
Oh yeah, it's all about content creators, artists, anyone with some sort of creative output that I love to support the most. So I don't know. there's a lot of really good things that come out of just keeping your feed into this kind of creative outlet where you get to see what everyone's up to. You become more of a product of your environment. I believe I'm sorry, this entire podcast has been like philosophical, so excuse me for that, but I believe that you become a product of your environment if you fill your feed with something that is just like a lot more creative output over there. That, I don't know, for me, it inspires me to create something myself, and just surrounding myself with more positive people who care, have a lot of passion for the things that they do. Just offhand gives me passion too.
So the horny people just get hornier.
Yeah, you're right about that. Especially with Grand Blue coming out. Oh my fucking god.
Oh my god, man. Yeah. Grand Blue hornied up my feed like crazy. Like I had nothing to do with it. It's just like, man, following Lost Soul. Like Lost Soul is like, he helped me out so much. Lost Soul has like helped me out a ton,
he's
right?
Amazing.
That dude is horny at 1 a.m. It never fails. I'll wake up early, and then I'll just see like a wall of like Lost Soul retweets, and it's just like all this crazy shit. And I like it. It's just I'm just like, damn, Lost Soul.
Oh man, my favorite part was when I was a community manager for my previous job. Part of my job is to go through Twitter and just interact with the community, and taking a look at Lost Souls RTs on my timeline, and my boss walks by and just sees all these anime titties and this guy pretty much eating this girl's ass pretty much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, this is definitely a customer. Don't worry about it.
You're like it's exactly what it looks like. This guy went crazy.
And that's how the coronavirus spreads.
Don't retweet the horny anime girl. But yeah, man. So yeah, I know we started talking about social media and stuff, but I think it's a good conversation to have. I haven't really talked to anyone about it, but if you are building your brand and you're listening to this, take it from me and him that it's really important to be active on social media, and it's also really important to you need to make yourself known by quality and like by persistence. So if you're like persistently making good stuff and it's good stuff every time and people know you, there's no reason for someone not to follow. I mean, obviously someone might not just follow you just because whatever, but most people, when they see you put the work in and they see you doing good things, they'll follow you just to see what you're going to do. I follow people just to see. Like, I'm like, what is this guy up to? He's doing cool stuff. Let's see what he's doing.
Oh, yeah. Do something to make yourself memorable. That's pretty much it. Yep.
Even if it's a meme.
And that is true. That's actually more true than I'd like to admit.
You just can't. If here's the problem though. So I was a meme lord too, but I wasn't like an upper echelon meme lord. But like, if you're gonna be a meme lord, guys, you have to get your edit game up, because there are people who just make meme edits for the fighting game community, and they have tons of followers, like tons.
Demon Dan, there you go.
Oh yeah, Demon Dan for sure. There's that one guy in the Tekken community who just like started, and he makes all kinds of crazy edits. And there's one Dragon Ball guy that I always see show up in my wall, and he always does like these Jiren edits. Those guys, they have tons of followers, and it's because their edits are so clean, they look so good that of course people want to see what the next thing they make, because it's funny. But I will say this, guys: if you do make meme edits, there's two sides to this coin. That if you stop, a lot of people won't follow you.
Oh yeah.
Because they're expecting you just to make meme edits at that point.
You always need to constantly. Consistency is also another key to pretty much everything. Be it online tournaments or like creating content or being an artist or just like posting memes. You do have to consistently make sure that people can rely on you to constantly do that. It's kind of like a TV show.
Yeah, you're the television show, right? So like,
yeah.
They want to watch your show once a week. So
6 pieces, and then they change it so much or whatever. Then you start having like the problems that like Shark Tank was starting to have, where ratings were dipping because they kept changing it to like ridiculous times, and no one could find out where Shark Tank was anymore.
Yeah.
Things like that. I don't know why I know that, a little tidbit of knowledge, but yeah, that's that's the thing, I guess.
Well, it's good stuff to know. I mean, knowing stuff like that helps you not make the same mistake. Like,
Yeah.
to me, I started doing more varied content because I just noticed that some people box themselves in. So I just was like, well, let me just do a bunch of different things. That way, people just know me for doing a bunch of different things, and then they won't be surprised when I change what I did because they just know that, like, hey, this is the new thing I did. I didn't want to box myself in as like a replay guy or like a guy that like only does this one thing or anything.
Oh, most miserable job you can have is just like being the guy that goes on CFN or something and just records other people playing, and you just sit there and you just upload, and then you have to get your meme title ready and all that.
Yeah, and the fucking fucking thumbnail with a red circle. Daigo plays Guile again.
Holy shit! I've never seen that before.
I know, it's crazy. I remember I saw one that like I think it was like Bonchan picked like Sagat, and then he was like Bonchan playing Sagat, and I'm like, yes. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, just like the past 20 years of Street Fighter.
Yeah, he's been playing Sagat for so long, and like I'm like, yeah, that's gonna happen.
But one last piece that I feel like is super important when you're creating content is to just be positive. It's not only good for how people perceive you. I know that negativity is pretty much just how like a lot of people go on, and how certain people become, I guess, relevant and stuff like that. Which negativity has in life, and not everything is some stuff like that. But for your own sanity and happiness and all that, it's really like just believe in people and just like make sure that you are just generally like happy and that you're doing things to not just avoid negativity but to douse it as well. And like with more positivity, the happier you are and all that kind of just spreads to other people. And I don't know, it's like an infection, a good one, a very good one. You want people to be happy. I hope, at least. I don't know. There's a lot of sad people out there, so who knows?
I mean, it is easier to be a negative Nancy. I'm gonna tell you that. But
easy. Yeah.
It's way easier.
For sure.
And then being controversial will get people to look at you, but when you
but
I will say this, that when you need that clutch retweet and you've been shitting on everybody and then no one's gonna want to do that shit for you, don't be surprised. It's like no one. I mean, I'm actually a very negative person, but when it comes to like with people, like handling people and like talking to people, I'm usually positive. I'm just negative to myself. Like I'm just negative to me. But
I feel you on that. Yeah, for sure.
But for like other people, I don't like being too negative on them because obviously everyone's got their own thing going on. So I try not to judge everyone too quickly. But you just don't want to do it. It's just like you said, like positivity is the best way to spread your stuff. Because if you're the negative guy, you don't want to be DSP, man. Just look at him. You don't want to be.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, man, I was like, be positive, and then I want to talk about DSP, but I won't do that. I will not do that. For the first time I've been on a podcast, I will not talk about DSP.
You're like, I'm not going back to the dark side.
But we are really blessed to have someone like Maximilian, who is a incredibly positive. Even when a negative news comes his way, he tries his best to take where he's like trying to understand it, even if it's actually just a complete fuck up or whatever. He does a good job of wielding huge, the absolutely insanely huge fan base in a responsible way.
I really want to talk to him, and I just want to find out how he got that big. Because when I first met Max, not met him, but like I first seen him online and doing his stuff, that was back when Marvel 3 was like around when it was getting like a little traction, because he was doing the assist me stuff.
Oh yeah,
I do not remember him having that many followers before. And
no, but he blew up.
Yeah, he blew up like crazy.
I think Assist Me was the thing that started it all, because it was it was obviously, it wasn't like made for me or anything, but he appealed more towards a younger audience, and a lot of people just embraced it. And instead of him just doing stuff that's like, hey, attack this guy, he said something bad about me, he was very consistent, just being like a genuinely very, very good guy. I know that he's donated a number of money to people who have struggled in the FGC before, and he just does what he feels is right. And I just be good to each other, I think, is his stream rules. Like it's really, that's the sort of stuff that the FGC, because I mean, to a lot of people, Maximilian is like their dad, you know, like they get home every single day and watch more Maximilian videos and want to be more like him. I think that's awesome if it's a positive influence like him.
I need to talk to him. I just want to talk to that guy. Honestly, him.
Oh yeah,
he's just very interesting. He's a very interesting story to me because I think he has the largest following for fighting game stuff.
Yeah, no, by far, yeah.
So like,
not even close to anything else.
He is, to me, he's incredibly important. Mainly because he is the gateway for a lot of people into fighting games. So I just need to see what he says about what he's done and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah,
I feel like a lot of us
could
be that.
He's open for chat. He's a very down to earth person too.
I feel like a lot of us could be that, but we just have to like persevere and just be creative. And we just need to help each other out. And really, I think most of the shortcomings of fighting games is just lies in content creation. Like I feel like we made more stuff for people to look at and be more interested in fighting games, then there would be more people willing to play fighting games, despite how abrasive the game can be personally to to someone. But if you make something look fun, people want to try it. I didn't never think I was gonna play Power Rangers, but when I went to a tournament, and I went there for just to hang out with Terrence and play some Street Fighter on the side. But I saw the Power Rangers guys playing, and he beat my ass because I just entered because they needed an 8th guy, and he beat my ass. I saw like the full combos and stuff. I was like, I gotta play this damn game. They looked like they were having a really good time, so I started playing. And to me, that's like the easiest way to get people to play is just to let people show people how good the game is and what fun looks like. And most people will probably like, hey, let me try that out. So someone like Max, I think that's what he really did. I think he took that concept and then did it like the perfect execution at the right time. And I think that's how he got to where he is. And I'm glad. We need more Maximilians.
Let's create content, especially for Sam Show. We need a lot more out there.
Yeah, Samurai Shodown is. So his content is like the issue of his content. The issue with Samurai Shodown's content, we have no replay channels, so we don't have replay sharks out there uploading shit every day. The net play is questionable. I can't play people in Florida for some reason, but I can play.
Oh, jeez, really?
Yeah, I can't, but I can play Jimmy Bones. I don't get it.
Oh, you can blame Florida for that, honestly. Like, I guarantee you, it's our internet here. So.
But come on, if it was rollback, it'd work for sure.
I hope.
It should. When I played Aru in 7, and it was skippy, but when I played him in 5 special, it was perfect. And
oh, really? Okay.
At that point, I was like, we gotta have rollback. Like, there's no around this. Hopefully, the future is that. But Samurai Shodown suffers from the netcode, the lack of replays, and the fan base being too far apart is also.
Oh yeah,
it all ties together. So it's just like no one's making.
Yeah, just
anything
numbers.
Because it's hard. It's hard to make stuff for this game.
It is. But the people that go out there and they do it regardless, those are the MVPs there.
Yeah, for sure. I like people are getting creative because it's so hard to make stuff. People getting creative. They're making like history of the character videos, and they're making like.
Oh yeah, shout outs to Space Detective for that. Yeah.
Yeah, Space Detective is the homie, man. Even though he tried to kill me
so much. Oh wait, what?
Wait, I forgot. Do you even know about any of this shit?
No.
Okay, so like. Space Detective, I guess he heard me talking shit about like Frosty Faustings, and like I guess I said passively like I would have gotten 3rd if I went, and he took that like as like this guy has to be gross if he's saying some shit like that. I can't believe he said that. And he sent Goro after me at fucking Lunar Bout as a hitman. And I came out of that barely unscathed. And I had then I had to fight Andy, but Andy beat me 3-2.
Yeah. You were close though. Like,
yeah, I literally I choked it up, man. There was like 5 times I could have won. And I just choked it up. And Andy was just more clutch. He really just was more clutch. Every time he needed to make the win happen, he made that shit happen. But
it's funny with Andy. He always gets 5B into Fireball when he means to do DP, and then all of a sudden he just gets the input right every single time after that, and he just wins.
He might just have waves of success in his inputs.
Yeah.
But yeah, Space Attendant didn't like that I said that shit.
All pretty well.
And,
yeah.
And so he sent Goro to try to kill me. But after I talked to Space Attendant on the podcast like 2 weeks ago, I think. Mm-hmm. And it was nothing personal. He just was like, this guy has to be good as fuck to be saying some shit like that. Like so freely.
No, it's all friendly. Yeah. We all, at the end of the day, we're just playing video games, and this is our community, it's our family. So we got that love.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody loves each other. Man, when I was in New York, I had a room with Goro and Diddy Mokov, and the last night I was there, I had to leave for my plane at like 5 a.m. and so I only slept for 2 hours. I wear a CPAP to help me breathe in my sleep because I have really, 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 really bad sleep apnea. And
I feel you.
I had wore it the entire time. But that night, I only had 2 hours of sleep left, so I just said, fuck it, I'm not going to put it on. Apparently, I snored so loud that Diddy and fucking Goro couldn't sleep, and Goro could hear me through his headphones, and then Diddy had to, like, sandwich his head between 2 pillows. I didn't get to play Diddy, but at least I fucked his ass up before I left. Oh, shit, man.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that match. I mean, like, Andy and Diddy is a pretty good rivalry that we've been seeing over and over again. I'd like to see other people at it too. So,
I would have liked to play Diddy, but he was too busy winning 5 different KOFs. And Andy told me that I probably had a really good shot at beating him just because of my play style. Mm-hmm. But this is one of those things you don't know until you play him. He might just be super clutch, and I just might get fucked up because he's clutch. There's no telling.
Yeah, well, check for tap.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, he got that shit in the bag. I might think I'm out of win, and the motherfucker just does raw tap and it catches me or some shit. Who knows?
One of my favorite things about Diddy that I've noticed over and over again is that whenever he has enough health to get chipped out, or just enough health so that one more hit will chip him out or whatever, will 100% wake up DP, and it will hit 100% of the time. They could be like full screen fireball, but because his DP is just like this big ass like full screen wind up or whatever. It always hits. I mean, it works. So Diddy knows what he's doing. He's
I mean, that DP is cheap. That character is cheap.
Oh yeah. There's got to be that's one of the few DPs in the game. I'm getting into a tangent now, but that where like if you rage explode at the invulnerability for his DP is like longer than the rage explosion, so that it just goes like right through you and get a free ESIN. But I need to go back and practice that.
It's
it's like frame perfect.
Did you watch me versus Goro?
Yeah. It's the tournament match, right? Not the money match.
Well, in the first of 5, the day before, I ESIN burst his DP like twice, and he stopped because it was like instant loss every time. But
it went right through it too.
Yeah. A lot of DPs can do it, but the timing is strict. But Shizumaru's is just so invulnerable. It's way easier to do on his.
Oh, is it? Okay, so it's not frame perfect. I just suck. Never mind. So,
well, it's more lenient. It's still hard, but it's just more lenient on him because his is so good. Right. If his DP wasn't so fucking good, it wouldn't be here. Yeah. But all
right.
Yeah.
I gotta. Sorry, I'm super sorry. I have to do a 11:30 meeting, which absolutely sucks. But
damn, that's like right now.
Gotta head out for now. Yeah, pretty much.
But
I didn't even realize it. I thought that like only like 30 minutes went by. It's been an hour 30. So.
well, let's wrap it up. Tell me
Yeah.
what you want to plug real quick before you go, and then you'll plug that, and then we'll check out.
Yeah, sure. Just check out Ronin Rumble. It's we have a tournament this Sunday at smash.gg/. We have about 130 entrants, I think. It's a ridiculous amount. I've never seen so many before. So 125 actually. So we're really excited for that. Doing that at the esports arena in Oak, and we're gonna have a full production team behind it. We want really special. We have pot, and also check out Glitch Energy. That's the new place that I work at. It's as the marketing director for it. You can check it out, Glitch, stylized with a Y, so GLYCH energy.com, and you'd be able to just check out all the different flavors and all that stuff. And you know what? I'll send you just so you can try it. Check it out. I'd like to hear your thoughts on.
Yeah, that for sure.
And
All right,
that's
guys.
pretty much it for.
It's been cool. Make sure to check out Ronin Rumble, like he said. Check out the Smash EG. Follow him on Twitter and all that good stuff. And we'll see you the next week. Peace.
All right. Hey, I had a lot of fun. Thanks a lot, man.
No problem.
See you next time. Bye.
Yeah.